Deadpool, aka Wade Wilson, aka the Merc with the Mouth, is one of Marvel Comics' most fun characters, but his story is anything but. Join me in day 3 of my Superhero Pride Month challenge, and let's talk nerdy about this pansexual, nonsense-having mercenary, Deadpool. But before we get into that, go ahead and put down in the comments the answer to this question. You're going on an all-expenses-paid vacation, but you have to go with Deadpool. How many days do you think you can spend with him before calling it quits? And yes, he will be doing Deadpool shenanigans. Deadpool made his comic book debut in New Mutants issue number 98, and he was originally a mercenary named Wade Wilson who was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And out of desperation, he allowed the scientists of Weapon X, the same secret Canadian government project that created Wolverine, to experiment on him. The goal of the scientists was to recreate the genetic healing ability of Wolverine and use that to cure Wade's cancer. And fortunately, it worked, but it made Wade's skin just a mangled mess. And because Weapon X is made up of a bunch of jerks, they put Wade in this hospice lab where they send all their failed dying experiments. And it's there where a Dr. Kilbrew and his assistant Ajax would horrifically torture and experiment on Wade. And every day, Kilbrew and Ajax would have a Deadpool to see which of the patients would die first in their experiments. And over time, all the torture and experimentation was driving Wade insane, but eventually it jump-started his healing factor, making it 10 times more than what Wolverine's can do. And with this upgraded healing factor, Wade was able to kill the guards and escape the lab with all the other prisoners. That day, he was a hero. Wade then took on the name Deadpool and used his new abilities not to be a superhero, but a mercenary for hire. Bro's gotta get paid. As a mercenary, Deadpool was already a master martial artist, an expert marksman, and extremely deadly with bladed weapons, but then he got his superpowers and he became even more dangerous. Deadpool has low levels of superhuman strength, speed, stamina, and reflexes, and due to the constant changes in his brain thanks to his healing factor, he is completely unpredictable, even to himself. So whenever he's fighting a supervillain like Taskmaster, whose whole powers is watching people and copying their techniques, they can't do it because Deadpool is all over the place. But Deadpool's most important power is his insane healing factor, which can let him do ridiculous things like reattach lost limbs, or in some cases even regrow the limbs. He can move his body normally without his head, and it's believed that Deadpool is essentially immortal, so even if he was completely disintegrated, he would just come back. And after an encounter with the all-powerful being the Beyonder, Deadpool was able to gain the awareness that he is a comic book character, which is why he can break the fourth wall. With these abilities, Deadpool pretty much does whatever his unpredictable brain makes him do, often crossing the line between hero and villain. It honestly depends on who pays him more. He can go from completely massacring a room full of assassins to doing a Magic Mike-esque striptease for demons. Like, you have no idea what you're gonna get with Deadpool. I will say Deadpool does have a more twisted sense of justice and honor, but it's very flimsy, which is why he's able to make friends, enemies, and lovers with pretty much everyone in the Marvel Universe. And that's why we all love him. Speaking of love, let's talk about all of Deadpool's romantic interests, because I love love and I love to talk about it. Now, in the comics, Deadpool is considered to be pansexual, and he's had a bunch of relationships throughout the years. You know, first off, we have Carmelita Camacho, who is the mother of Deadpool's child, Eleanor. Yeah, he's a dad. Could you imagine having Deadpool as a dad? Like, I feel like that would get old very quick. Then you have Orska, this giant alien that Deadpool accidentally married because he started making out with her, and I guess in their race, that's how you propose. Then you have Valentine Vuong, who's this non-binary assassin that was planning on using Deadpool to gain control over this secret assassination organization, but they ended up falling in love with Deadpool instead. It was real sweet. But then you have the more well-known love interests like Vanessa, who's in both the comic books and the MCU. Only difference is in the comic books, Vanessa is a superpowered individual named Copycat. She's a shapeshifter. But perhaps Deadpool's most famous relationship is with Death. Like, yes, like the literal embodiment of death. he's in love with that. And honestly, that relationship is pretty sad when you think about it, because him being in love with death is essentially a metaphor for him wanting to die, but he can never have her because he's immortal. Poor Deadpool. But now let's talk about the answers for our random question. How long can you last on vacation with Deadpool before calling it quits? Now, I love Deadpool as a comic book character. I think he's hilarious. He has great stories. I love to read about him. I can only do about 5 minutes with him. I'd be curious to meet him in person, talk to him for about 5 minutes, but then I'm done. We're gonna get out of there before he starts doing any Deadpool shenanigans. I don't want to get killed. But what do you think of Deadpool? And where does he rank on your favorite superhero character list? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure you hit the like button and then be on the lookout for tomorrow's videos. We discuss DC's greatest cat burglar, Catwoman. And if you missed day 2's video on Harley Quinn, make sure you click on the box right here. And I'll see you in a bit.